Hello guys and girls, this is Infinity Boom of Power, and speaking of guys and girls, today we're touching upon the theory of how Namekians reproduce. So before we can conclude how Namekians reproduce, we must know the two ways organisms can reproduce, and that is through asexual reproduction and the reproduction we go through as humans, which require two parents, and asexual reproduction only requires one. For most of us, we humans know how we reproduce, but in asexual reproduction, we reproduce a much different way. In asexual reproduction, the offspring is always identical to the parent, much like bacteria, excluding mutations. So, what does this tell us about Namekians? Now let's talk about Namekians. We know that Namekians do not eat, they only drink. There's only one male, and they're only male, in order to reproduce. And in order for them to reproduce, they spit out an egg, as seen when King Piccolo spits out Piccolo Jr. So this shows that they are performing asexual reproduction. But there's one problem to this. As I already have stated, the offspring has to be identical to the parent, excluding mutation. But all Namekians aren't exactly the same. There are varieties of differences between Namekians. For example, there are two different versions of Namekians. Those that are known as the Dragon Clan, and they're the ones who are able to create the Dragon Balls and have all the magical powers, and those known to be the warrior type Namekians. The difference between these clans is that the Dragon Clan grow in a longer period of time than the warrior type Namekians. For example, Dende, where he did not change as much since the Frieza Saga till the Android Saga, unlike Piccolo, where he grew to be fully grown in only 3 years ever since King Piccolo spit Piccolo out as an egg. Another reason why Namekians are portrayed differently is that not all Namekians are portrayed to have the same color blood. Some have purple blood, others have red. This all ties up to the fact that all Namekians aren't identical, so it doesn't make sense for them to go through asexual reproduction and have all these different characteristics about them. According to the Dragon Ball Wiki page, Akira Toriyama stated in an interview that Namekians are hermaphrodites that possess physics similar to those of human males. This means that they possess male sex organs. Despite the fact that hermaphrodites can reproduce sexually, the Namekians are seen reproducing only asexually, using a mode of reproduction similar to parthenogenesis and spitting egg out from their mouth. Despite this asexual reproductive system, there's still diversity in the species, as the offspring is usually not an exact copy of the parent, as I've stated, like with King Piccolo and Grand Elder Guru. Rather, it appears that the parent has some control over what type of child will be formed. So, in conclusion, Namekians go through sexual reproduction for a certain amount of reasons. Namekians are not all the same and do not have the same characteristics when comparing all of the Namekians. Some may state that there is only one parent reproducing. However, Akira Toriyama had stated that they do indeed go through sexual reproduction that have similar physics when comparing them to human males. And you can't fight against the creator of Dragon Ball Z. He simply takes control of the Dragon Ball Z universe. Like the series already? Well, there's more to come. Make sure you tell me your thoughts on this series and the theory. This has been Infinity Boom Power. Mbah!